Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cutting Edge Figure Skating Podcast. My name is Kim Dunaway, and in this episode, I'll be covering the pairs event at the 2024 Cup of China. This event was won by Sarah Conti and Niccolò Mushaw of Italy. Little surprising here, a little bit of an upset. They completely took advantage of a mistake made by Haase and Volodin in the short program. They won the short program here and hung on with just enough in the free skate to get the win here, their first Grand Prix title. In the short program, level 4 on their twist. It was such an issue for them last season. So to see them do well on it in both of their Grand Prix here is extremely encouraging. Their throw is right on the music as that carbon suite really starts. Their side-by-side triple salchows got pretty good GOE. They were number 1 on that element in the short program. They got level 4s on everything. Really could not ask for a better performance from them in the short program. In the free skate, they did a triple toe, double axle combination, which they don't do a lot of the times. A lot of the times that second jump is a single axle, but here they did do both double axles. For both of them, they weren't clean on their second double axle, but it was the only mistake that they had. They really brought a lot of emotion to that program, and I think that did help. It did not bore me to tears like it did in France. They got a personal best of 138 points, and that was with the mistake on the double axles. They got level 4s on everything yet again, and that was really what was key to them getting the win. They won by less than 2 points. Had they gotten level 3s on a couple of those elements, that would have been the difference, and they would have been second here instead. They might have had the best kiss and cry reaction of the weekend. Amber and her coach certainly had a really good kiss and cry reaction. Mikhail Shadorov and Shun Sato both had really good reactions in the men's event, but I think if I'm going to give an award for best kiss and cry reaction, it definitely goes to Sarah, Niccolò, and their coach. They were so ecstatic in the kiss and cry to get the win. In second place here was Minerva Haase and Nikita Volodin of Germany. This was the first time we've seen them lose on the Grand Prix circuit. They were 3 for 3 prior to this. The short program, I'm kind of on the fence on this program, and I kind of think it's Nikita, honestly. I feel like Minerva is really doing her best to bring the performance. I just kind of feel like he's a bit of a cold fish at times. I see him smiling, but it just doesn't connect to what Minerva is doing compared to what we're getting from somebody like Ryuichi Kihara, who brings a lot to his performance, or even Niccolò here. Don't really feel like Nikita is bringing his absolute best to the table. I mean, Max Deschamps isn't exactly like the picture of acting either, but he's definitely more connected to Deanna than Nikita is connected to Minerva. And I mention that because those little nuances might be the difference in winning a world title or not. A lot of these teams are so very close together with their skill level. They're all doing a lot of the very same elements. It's really going to come down to the minor details of the program, their connection, their levels. It's going to make the difference come time for Worlds. As far as their technical elements in this short program, really strong. The side-by-side jumps, the twist, their spin, their lift. They get to their step sequence and he just falls on his butt. And that is what causes them to be second after the short program. And they just really can't make up that deficit even in their free skate. It's interesting because in the short program with this fall, Mark says on the commentary that it's a mandatory -5 in GOE because of the fall. However, 4 of the 9 judges did not do that. They actually gave it either a -3 or a -4. I don't know if they know the rule book. In the free skate, first of all, can we just talk about her dress, which I'm positive was all white at Nebelhorn, and I'm positive there was something tan on it in France, and now apparently it's white again. And it just, I'm not crazy. Please let me know I'm not crazy. On to the technical elements. The synchronization that they have on their side-by-side jumps is really amazing. I think maybe outside of the Hungarians, they might be the best in terms of that. The last minute of this program is really strong. The last lift is just really epic. Such a long carry. And then after that long carry, they change positions. Really, really fantastic. The issue for them here, they got a level 1 on their death spiral and only a level 2 on their twist. So they did not score as well here as we have seen them score with this program at other times of the season. And had they matched those levels that Sarah and Nick got here, they would have won here. But ultimately, it really did not matter which of these top 2 teams won. If they finished on the podium, they were headed to Grand Prix final. All right, on to our bronze medal finisher, and that was Leah Pereira and Trip Mushaw of Canada, making their way onto the podium for the first time this season. It's been definitely a rough go for them in the short program. I thought this program looked so much better than it has been. I've been really harsh on it this season, and I think fairly so, but their performance was better. I felt like I could finally see the infusion of their personalities in it. They got a personal best in the short program. Really nice side-by-side jumps, which is something I've complimented them on the past, but it's been a bit on the back burner because they've made so many mistakes in other places. It's kind of overshadowed the good elements that they have. The throw was on. They do the throw Salchow in the short program, and I kind of feel like when they put the throw loop in their last season in the short program is almost when it started to fall apart for them in competitions, because while the throw Salchow is not worth as many points as the throw triple loop is, it is their more consistent throw, and it's just not worth the extra 1 point of base value to put something that's a lower percentage in for them. So I'm glad they've stuck with the Salchow in the short, and I'm glad that they went clean here. In the free skate, she was sporting a different dress. My understanding, it is a borrowed dress from Olivia Smart because her new dress isn't ready yet, which I'm asking, why not just wear the old dress? I don't know what the new dress is supposed to bring to the table because I haven't seen it. Is it a different color? Is it a different, I don't know. I don't know why she didn't just wear her old one. I mean, this one was fine. I feel like sometimes when people have programs that aren't that exciting, they try to change the outfit or something as opposed to try to like infuse something new into the program as if it's supposed to like breathe new life into it. They did the same thing last year with their short program. Of course, they ended up changing the cover of the music that they were using, and then they also changed the outfit for her as well. We'll see what it looks like. I don't know if it'll be ready for Canadian Nationals. Sure to goodness, a month from now, 6 weeks from now, it will be ready. And then we'll see if the new dress is just like way, way better than this old one. For me, the outfits are way less of an issue, and it's more so about the program, which I thought was a little better, not a lot better. I find that the second half of this program is less impactful than the first half is, which is usually completely the opposite. Usually a lot of programs, whether it's singles or pairs, once they get past all of their technical elements, the second half of the program sort of really shines. Whereas for them, I feel like that's not the case at all. Like they come out more so with more intensity in the first half, and the second half to me starts to fall a little flat. Their technical elements were very uneven here. They almost got that triple toe, double axel combo. It's almost always, you can bet money on it, that one of them is going to mess up on one of those jumps somewhere. And then whichever of them messes up on that, the other one is going to mess up on their next side-by-side jump. And it's exactly what happened here again. In that 3-jump combo, Trent double foots the second double axel, and then when they get to their side-by-side triple Salchows, she turns out of hers. They just cannot, for all of the talent that they have in those side-by-side jumps, they just cannot ever seem to get those clean at the same time in a competition. Landed that throw Salchow late in the program, but their first throw, that throw triple loop, that's been problematic for them, she fell on it again. At least they're on the podium, and it does seem like that they have learned, made some changes, mostly mentally perhaps, from where they were at the beginning of the season, which I think great. I would love to see them skate to their potential. And I was glad to see at least the short program improved here, even if I'm still not sold on this Tango free skate. Like I said, it was a little bit better. In fourth place was Szczetinina and Wozniak of Poland. Them, along with McBeath and Parkman, were added late when Plazas and Fernandez and Zhang and Gia withdrew last month. In the short program, she just squeaked out the landing on the side-by-side triple toe. She landed forward on the throw. I think the coolest part of their program is their lift. They do like a dance lift entry into it. It's very similar to the lift that we see both Demogé and Le Mercier do and Lemon Kwan do, where she kind of puts her foot over the head and kind of flips up, and then he presses her in to a full lift. They had a lot of joy in this program, especially for her. I think there is a lot of room for improvement. The death spiral for sure was one. They just got a base level on it. But even with those mistakes, they got a personal best in this program, which was fabulous for them. In the free skate, side-by-side double axles were rough. He got 2 single axles off because they needed to do a combo after they did the side-by-side triple toes, which Mark noted, well, he got the 2 single axles off to make a combo. But they both have to do it in order for it to count, which they didn't because she did not. So those were invalidated and they only got credit for the double axle. Those 2 single axles, however, did count towards getting a combo off. So it did keep them from getting the repetition deduction. So I just wanted to clarify that. What separates the better pair teams from teams like Szczetinina and Wozniak is the side-by-side jumps. We really see a lot of struggle with those jumps amongst the teams that are trying to get to the podium, that are in that middle of the pack. So we've seen a team like Anastasia and Luke this season really make a lot of strides. Their side-by-side jumps have been a lot more consistent, and they do a double axle instead of 2 triples jumps, which is something I've been kind of banging the drum about since I first started the podcast, and I was only covering ice stands and pairs. That was one of the things I just could not understand, why so many teams do side-by-side single toes or side-by-side double Salchows instead of a double axle, which gets you more points. And this is a team that is doing side-by-side double axles, not well, but we'll see with some of the teams kind of at the bottom that that's even a struggle. And of course, if you're going to do them, they've got to be clean, right? So the question sort of becomes like a team like this that's doing, double axle, single axle, single axle. The side-by-side triple jumps aren't really super clean either. Is there a better strategy to, again, adopt something like Chan and Hao were doing a couple seasons ago, where you, instead of trying to add an axle jump on the end of the double axle, would it be better to do a double Salchow, double axle combo? I don't love it, but it might increase the percentage of landing that element. Would it make more sense to do a double axle, double toe instead of trying to do an axle sequence? This is a place where so many teams really miss the boat. And I just feel like a lot of teams are not really thinking of a strategy where they can really maximize the points from this element, but also be able to land the jumps cleanly. I do like the dance influences that they have in their program. I'm sure that it's likely due to the off season. There was anticipation for some rule changes that ultimately didn't happen. And that's where you see some of these elements of ice dance in some of these pair programs. But they also got a personal best in their free, and overall team that definitely made the most of their opportunity here, getting a late assignment at this Grand Prix. In 5th place was Katie McBeath and Daniel Parkman of the U.S. They were a team that I was expecting to be a sleeper pick for potential podium. That did not happen, and it all went awry in the short program. And boy, was it painful. Everything that could go wrong basically went wrong. started with a twist. Not even sure what happened. Like he caught her, but she fell down to the ice. Then they immediately go into their side-by-side triple toes, which she fell on. She had a hand down on the throw Lutz. Side-by-side spins were a disaster. She fell out of a spin when she was changing feet. They ended up losing that spin completely, which is 0 points. Literally every element got negative GOE except for their death spiral. 42 points they got in the short program. Just an absolute nightmare. I will give them credit, though, because they came back in the free skate and really put a pretty decent program out there. Had a nice triple twist here. Did a triple toe, double axle combo. They landed off sync and far away. They couldn't even get them in the camera angle, but it was landed. They opted for triple sow cows here side by side, not the triple flip, which they've been working on. Just a double sow cow, though, from Katie. They did a beautiful throw triple loop. They actually got a level 4 on their death spiral, which is very difficult to do these days. It's like a unicorn when we see a level 4 on a death spiral. She hung on to that throw triple Lutz. Loved the fight there. I really like the group 3 lift where he just carries her and they have this cartwheel-like exit. Feel like the reverse group 5 lift that they have needs more flow. But they were 4th in the free, a lot closer to what I was expecting. If you take this free skate with the short program that they had at Skate America, they would have been closer in that fight for the podium, which is what I know that they're capable of. In 6th place here was the Kovalevs, Camille and Pavel from France. In the short program, they got their glow-in-the-dark costumes. I know they don't glow in the dark. They just look like they do. And they had hand down on her side-by-side triple toe. Usually not very consistent elements for them. Just had a whole belly flop on the throw. Not good. It looked like it hurt too, honestly. Mark says that they work with a ballet teacher remotely. Interesting. In the free skate, this is a repeated program from last season, which if they were going to repeat a program, I'm glad that it was this one and not the short program last year, because I was very hard. That was a super confusing program. I think it was like a Prince of Persia Filling Begins matchup. Very weird. Whereas the James Bond is not a terrible program. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of times not well skated. Here wasn't their best. It wasn't their worst. Side-by-side jumps, not good. She fell on the triple toe, and they just did double sow cows. Throws weren't great. Hand down on the throw triple flip. I feel like in this program, the no time to die part is probably the most successful. Did land the throw sow cow right on the music, right on the end of the program, which was nice. Their lifts are pretty good. They are a bit frenetic, but I do think that this style works for them. I definitely don't have the optimism for this team that Mark does. He says he thinks that they can be like Conti and Macii. I don't see it, but I think it's possible that they could be like Danilova and Seba, something like that. In 7th place was Isabella Gomez and Alexander Korovin of the Philippines. They were a last-minute replacement for Yang and Ding, who withdrew. Their short program, they have a really high twist, which looks really nice. They only get like a level 2 on it, I think, in both the short program and in the free skate, so they're not getting all the features, but I love the elevation that she gets on that element. Landed their side-by-side triple sow cows, but she ended up getting a full downgrade, which means only credit for a double sow cow. Then fell on the throw triple loop. In the free skate, this was actually their first time that they got over 100 points. So I saw quite a bit of people online really sort of giving them the blues, talking about her not being at the same level that he is. And while some of that may be true, this is a team that has had a hard time just getting above 90. And so for them to get over 100 was huge for them. So it does show a lot of improvement for them. They had mistakes on both of their jumping passes. She fell on the side-by-side triple sow cow. They did a double toe without a combo, so they got 1 point on that element with the repetition deduction. They're a team that really needs side-by-side double axles. They've done like side-by-side single axles in the past and side-by-side double sow cow, so it's really a place where they really struggle. Another team that could use some kind of strategy to help with that. The side-by-side triple for them is really pretty low percentage, and I would love to see them try something different like a double axel in the short program to sort of help with that. But ultimately, this was one of the better competitions that they've had, which is positive steps in the right direction for this team. In 8th place here was Wang and Zhu of China. They were added when Ping and Wang withdrew. So if you notice all of these withdrawals, all 3 Chinese pairs who were originally slated to be in this event all withdrew for different reasons, injuries, splits, what have you. And this team was added late. In the short program, they looked pretty good, had a clean side-by-side triple throws. The timing was really, really off, but they did land them. Had a good twist. Beautiful throw on that triple loop, but their lifts are a real issue for them, and it was in both programs. Really slow on it in the short program, and then in their side-by-side spins, he changed his foot in the spin before she did and made them really off sync, which was another element that they had negative GOE on, along with their twist and their lift. Even with those mistakes, it was a personal best for them, and they were actually 5th after the short program. Free skate, however, was a different story. It started off with side-by-side triple toes, but then the side-by-side triple salchows do not go as well. She two-footed hers, and he stepped out of his. All 3 of their lifts, very slow, not very much distance. Neither of the throws were landed well. Every element, except for the opening jumping pass, those side-by-side triple toe, double toe, single toe combos that they did, got negative GOE. They lost their pair spin. It was originally called a level 2 with a V, which means they didn't get enough revolutions in a variation, or they didn't show enough variations. But ultimately, even that was leveled down where they got 0 points. So they only got 80 points in this free skate, which is very low, just brutal. They do not have minimums to go to 4 continents. And at this point, I don't know that any Chinese pair team that has a pulse has minimums to go to 4 continents, let alone worlds, which is scary. As much as I harp, fuss, give the blues to Canadian men, to American men at times, absolutely nothing disappoints me more than Chinese pairs does right now. And watching the women's event, you'll see Jian Tong of Peng and Tong, who is a 2-time world champion, Olympic silver medalist. Why is he coaching women's? Why is he not coaching pairs? I just do not understand what has happened to this program. It's so frustrating. I know that Zhao Hengbo took over for Yao Ben when Yao Ben retired and was supposed to sort of be the torchbearer of Chinese pairs for the next however many years. He has retired, but I cannot understand how he retired without some kind of a long-term plan to sort of hand it over to somebody else. Now they've got a lot of different coaches coaching. None of these teams stay together very long. It's so incredibly frustrating. Now, just a few days ago, we found out that Wingjing Sui is now partnered with someone new, which is interesting. We know that Kong Han retired last year. We kind of assumed that means Sui did as well, but no, she has paired with somebody else. Is this partnership going to last? Is this person competent? This is a Olympic gold medalist, Olympic silver medalist, multiple time world champion here that we're talking about. Perhaps that could breathe some life into pairs. We were hoping for that with Ping Ching last year, and that partnership didn't last. I don't know if it even lasted a year. Apparently now he's coaching. No idea what she's doing at this point. There is a very good junior pair team, Zhang and Huang. It was not age eligible for seniors. He turned 17 in August, and you've got to turn 17 before July 1st to have been able to compete at seniors this season. I think they likely would have stayed in juniors anyway, but they have been the most exciting thing I saw in juniors, watching 7 junior Grand Prix events this fall. And I just hope that they stay together, because the implosion of Chinese pairs has just been the most depressing thing in this Olympic quad. And I don't really see any hope on the horizon right now outside a couple of junior pair teams. All right, so moving on to the Pamchenko Award here. I think we got to give it to Conti and Macii winning their first Grand Prix. Really came out, just kind of killed everything, level fours on every element in both programs. Only just a little bit of a hiccup on a second double axel and a 3-jump combo. Really fantastic. And I just cannot believe the Jekyll and Hyde that we have gotten from them, from how amazing they were in the 22-23 season to how frustrating they were last year to like this amazing transformation that they have come back with. And now they look like they could be competing for titles potentially. And that's great. All right, let's talk about who made the Grand Prix final. Stellato and Deschamps. They are the only pair team to have won both of their Grand Prix this season. We've got 3 teams with a silver and a gold. That's Miura and Kihara of Japan, Haase and Volodin of Germany, and Conti and Macii from Italy. We've got Meltikina and Buralaba who come in with the win and a 4th place finish. And then we have Kim and O'Shea of the US who qualified with those 24 points. So we have a representative from 6 different countries. No country has more than one. So we've had 2 Italian pair teams the last couple of seasons. We've had a couple of Canadian pairs last season as well, but 6 different countries represented in this Grand Prix final. And I'm definitely looking forward to the matchups that we've got here. I think all of these teams are definitely capable of medaling. I think the top 3 are definitely going to be the ones coming in as favorites to win. But like I said in my other recaps, I will do a full preview for Grand Prix final next weekend. And Gilardi and Ambrosini with 22 points are the first alternate should someone need to withdraw. That is my last recap for Cup of China. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting the podcast. You can find me on all the socials at iSkate Podcast. You can send me a line at thecuttingedgepod@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed the skating this weekend. The Grand Prix season is complete. Just the Grand Prix final left in 2 weeks in France. We'll see what that looks like for watching it. It's always challenging when they're in Asia. I did stay up longer than I had anticipated and watched quite a bit of skating, but I also fell asleep right in the middle of programs both nights as well. But it didn't take me quite as long to get caught up here as it did with some of the other events this season. Have a good week. Eat lots of turkey. I'll be back in your podcatcher real soon.